This edition of the Fax.Koolaid Podcast Show is brought to you in part by Motion Pictures. Remember, the Fax.Koolaid Podcast Show is rated a special AE for any and everyone. View discretion is advised. Just kidding. I don't know how many times I got to reiterate that.
Yo, what's poppin'? What it is? Welcome everybody back to the Fax.Koolaid Podcast Show. This is episode 18. It's a blessing and a pleasure to welcome everybody back to the show on this beautiful week, man. You know what it is. We got a lot to cover today, and I ain't gonna lie to you. This episode is gonna be slightly a little different. You feel me? I'm more in my journalistic bag right now. Yesterday was the BET Awards, depending on when you're watching this, maybe 2 days ago, maybe 3 days ago, maybe last week again. But this episode is going to be more so entertainment and music and movie related. You feel me? Might have a little bit of wisdom, inspiration, motivation toward the end. We're not going to do call-ins. We're not going to do Q&As. We're going to cover everything we got yesterday from the BET Awards because I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty shocked. I ain't going to lie. I fear, that the BET Awards might be back. Not gonna lie to you. Yeah, it was the longest BET Awards of all time, going at a whopping 4 hours and 45 minutes. But not gonna lie, BET did so much in their power to bring this show back. Because obviously we know, bro, besides what we saw yesterday, bro, the BET Awards the past, I'd say, smooth 6-7 years have been straight abysmal. Let's just keep it a band. If you really, bro, y'all were not there. No, y'all were there, bro. Let's just be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. The BET Awards used to be everything, bro. Folks used to cook out. Folks used to plan. Folks used to have reunions on that day. Folks used to be excited to leave church. Bro, even me as a kid, I used to be excited to leave church so that I could get home to watch the BET Awards. Praise God, you know what I'm saying? God sees my heart. Folks used to have watch parties. Folks used to turn up because of the BET Awards on that Sunday. Then, I don't know what happened. Everything just started getting watered down. Celebrities stopped coming. The performances started getting a little cheese. But now you could tell that BET definitely wanted to change that narrative and bring everybody back. And I'm explaining a few ways how I noticed that they did this. The viewership, for one, went up crazy numbers. Yesterday was the most viewed BET Awards in years, bro. It's a blessing for it to be back. So what I'm gonna do this episode is we're gonna go through a lot of the categories and the awards that were given out, and we're gonna speak on a few music takes that I've been wanting to get off my chest, but I never really had the opportunity. Yeah, this is my show, this is my platform. I can say whatever I want to say, but I want to make it flow. So now, as I'm mentioning these awards for most of these musical artists and all that, we're gonna dive into a few topics, maybe a few unpopular opinions. If you disagree, we can always argue about it on Fax.Koolaid on any social media platform. Send a DM. If I don't get to it directly, one of my social media managers will. We're going to dive straight to the deep end and then swim back up to the surface. We're going to start most controversial out of all. The BET Awards, the best female hip-hop artist nominations were Cardi B, Doechii, Doja Cat, Glorilla, Lotto, Megan Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj, Rhapsody, and Sexy Red. Now, I'm just keeping it a band. If Sexy Red would have won that award, no disrespect, Sexy, I would have turned my TV off. Now, Doechii won the award. I don't think that was the right decision, though. Let me explain why, though, before y'all hurt me. It should have been Glorilla, hands down, because this is not best female rapper. Because let me tell you something, you're not gonna like this. If you really want to go over best female rapper in the world, Rhapsody's in that conversation. We knew Rhapsody wasn't going to win that best hip hop award, but you want to talk about bars? Rhapsody's in that conversation. You could argue that Rhapsody is better than every single person that was nominated, but we're talking about best hip hop artist. And if this is a yearly award, it should have went to Glow. Not going to lie to you. Whether you're a fan of Glorilla or not, bro, you can't deny the impact that she had 2024. And every BET award is a yearly award. And I get it. Doechii had The Nile is a River. It won her Grammys. The whole album won her a Grammy. Then she dropped Anxiety. But let me tell you about Glorilla, though, because maybe I got to refresh y'all's memory. Let me break down how Glorilla had the best year out of all these rappers that was nominated. In the year 2024, Glorilla dropped What You Know About Me. And by the way, most of these songs charted top 20, top 30, some top 10. She dropped What You Know About Me, Sticky, Yeah Glow, TGIF, I Love Her featuring T-Pain, Wanna Be, Let Her Cook. She featured on Bop, Red Bone with Lil Baby. She featured on Shake That with D-Lo. She was on the remix of Never Need. She also dropped Hold On, What You Doing, ILBB2. She featured on that one this year, and Procedure featuring Lotto. This is all in 2024. Then not to mention the award that she did win was for best gospel song. That's why I say Doechii shouldn't have won that award over Glorilla, because if we're just talking about artists, no bars, just strictly impact over 1 year. All these songs play everywhere, all on social media, all at these parties, all at these clubs, all at these lounges, all at these shows. That's who wins the award. And no disrespect respect to Doechii, because I understand Doechii got bars and she got a hard fan base that will literally cancel and try to kill anybody. But bro, Glow was at the top of her game 2024, and then she just dropped a single with Keisha Cole a few days ago. Now I get it, I love it. Doechii go hard, but like, yo, come on, let's be honest. You can't deny the impact of Glow this past year. I'm not just a fan of this type of. I'm not just a fan of Glow. Hell, I'm not a fan of the type of genre anyway. But let's just be honest, you feel me? She should have gotten that award. And I also think that's pretty interesting because it opens another conversation of what makes one female hip hop or rapper better than the other. Because you got folks like Doechii and Rhapsody, and you could argue Megan Thee Stallion. You have those type of women who have bars. They rely on literally like entendres, schemes, and all of that versus people like Sexy Red and Glow who are not really known for their bars, but they have very catchy songs. Folks like Megan Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj are kind of in the middle, but like, you see the divide, you feel me? You got one category who focuses their music on catchiness. Those are the songs that are more on TikTok, on social media, that you hear at clubs and parties and all that. But Doechii and Rhapsody are more so people that you would argue a lot of men feel like are dominating the rap game because they rely on bars, again, rhythmic like activity. They rely on mind. Like it's two different types of levels. That's why I ain't really like that they was bunched up together. I feel like the BET Awards should have had Best Female Rapper, then Best Hip Hop Artist. Now let's move on because I'm gonna get to Glow in a second again. Now let me move on to male artists. Now Leon Thomas, let's talk Leon Thomas, man. Leon Thomas won Best New Artist. And in my mind, I'm just sitting there like, bro, Leon not new. He ain't new, bro. Stop that. Folks don't even know that Leon been around. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I get a little defensive over Leon, you feel me? Like, as somebody that's always been a victorious over iCarly motherfucker, excuse my French, I could have been getting emotional watching Leon Thomas perform, bro. He been that guy ever since folks don't even know. Seeing folks on Twitter as Leon Thomas is performing and winning the BET Award talking about some, yeah, bro, Leon Thomas, I like this new guy. Yeah, I like that he's on the scene. You don't even know for real, bro. Bro, what people don't even realize about Leon Thomas, he is the most talented in the industry. It's not even close, bro. You talking about somebody that was an actor before being an established artist. And then before, because he won New Artist yesterday, but before that, he been in the industry. Folks don't even know that he sang all the parts for Bobby Brown in the New Edition biopic. Folks don't even know that he's responsible for all these great hits. He literally wrote all these songs, including Snooze. Like, Leon Thomas is literally so responsible in the industry right now, and folks don't even know it. But he ain't new though. Like, let's not even do that, bro. Before you know it, I predict 2026, 2027, he's gonna be topping the charts of everything, bro. Because this is his first real life album, you feel me? That's why he got nominated for Best New Artist. Don't be surprised if by 2026, 2027, he's topping charts every month. Now let's move to R&B. The BET Award for Best R&B Singer went to SZA. Folks that were nominated included Ari Lennox, Coco Jones, who some folks thought should have won. I don't see why. Please know your music facts. She's not there yet. Kehlani, who we haven't heard from in a minute. Victoria Monet, and over Summer Walker. Now everybody knows I'm a Summer Walker. I'm a Summer Walker Brody. I think she's the best in the game, even over SZA. I'm not disappointed that she won that award, but I do know that when Summer Walker drops this next album, folks are gonna realize who's back on the throne. I've always thought that Summer Walker was better than SZA, and many folks will say that that's an unpopular opinion. I don't really care. But when she drops this next album, y'all just gonna have to see. I ain't gonna lie to you. Now, for album of the year, both genders, Kendrick Lamar won that for GNX. Now, there was so much controversy behind that. Not gonna lie to you. Folks feel like Chris Brown got robbed. Folks feel like Drake and Party Next Door got robbed. Folks feel like Glorilla got robbed. Folks feel like Metro Boomin and Future, who won Best Collab, got robbed. I'm not gonna lie to you. What folks are speculating is that because Kendrick Lamar and SZA are both on tour, that's why they won so many awards yesterday. Because as a bundle, they won about 3 or 4 awards last night. And you got many folks saying that Kendrick Lamar won all these awards because of one song. Now, I'm not gonna let the disrespect go that far. Squabble Up, TB Off, Luther, those are all great songs on that album, but definitely should have went to Chris Brown, not gonna lie to you. And this is coming from somebody who was a Drake fan. Some Sexy Songs for You, absolute bops. And I'm not even gonna hate, and I'm not gonna hate on Kendrick because I know Kendrick fans go hard behind that man. I just understand that, like, when you look at numbers, when you look at, like, numbers don't lie, bro. If you looking at numbers and you see what Chris Brown and Drake and Party Next Door did, come on, bro. Like, I don't know, yo. Now, taking the breaks from some of the awards, Lil Wayne performing at the BET Awards, and And not gonna lie, it made me spark a conversation that I knew I had to bring to the show. At what point are we going to acknowledge that Lil Wayne is better and has always been better than your favorite rapper, bro? I'm not gonna lie to you. And I'm talking to old heads and young heads who like to have emotional music takes just to get respect. Let me tell you what pisses me off, right? I'm a firm believer that you cannot talk 100% accurately on a genre or topic from a time frame that you were not around for, bro. I mentioned this multiple times before. I'm gonna bring it up right now. It confuses me and baffles me whenever somebody that's my age, 23, who was never around for Tupac, likes to say, yeah, Lil Wayne is good, but he not better than Tupac. Tupac overall is a better rapper than Lil Wayne. How do you know that, bro? You were not born. You weren't even conceived. Your parents weren't even married when Pac was in his prime. Yet you've been around to see everything that Lil Wayne has done. He's still alive to this day. And you just swear you know that Tupac is greater than Lil Wayne? I'm not trying to hear that, bro. No disrespect to Pac. I like Pac. Got so many of his songs in my playlist, you feel me? But we need to stop speaking on eras if we were not around to really understand the magnitude of it, bro. I have this same conversation when it comes to Aaliyah and Beyonce, right? Many people, especially in my generation, always say, oh yeah, Aaliyah would have been way bigger than Beyonce if she was still alive. Now, I'm not saying that you're false. What I'm saying is, how do you know that? If you were born in 1998, that means that when Aaliyah died, you were 4 or 5. How do you know that she would have been bigger than Beyonce, bro? You were not old enough to experience any of the impact that Aaliyah had, yet you've been old enough to see what Beyonce has been doing. Yeah, you just swear that Aaliyah would have been bigger than Beyonce, bro. We were talking about Beyonce, who was one of them that is at the top of the top all time, but you just swear you know. See, that's why I don't be going back and forth with y'all in the comment sections, bro. Y'all be speaking on things that y'all really don't sometimes know about, bro. And I understand it could just be a bias because this is my generation. I'm seeing what I'm seeing. But we got to stop with these takes musically and sometimes even in sports, because I could take that same thing to sports too, with these takes of y'all favoring a genre of a time period that you don't even know, favoriting a subject that you don't even know about because you weren't around, just to get respect from old heads. Y'all are not slick, and I'll be catching y'all when it comes to that. Now, moving on, but still talking about BET Awards. One of the reasons that the BET Awards was very special this year, they had multiple Ultimate Icon Awards. One of them went to Jamie Foxx. He was one of the first ones. When Jamie Foxx was earning his award for being the Ultimate Icon, you see how emotional he was. And I'm not trying to like diverge the topics, but y'all, we gotta be more grateful. We gotta be more grateful for the days that we have. We really gotta learn to number our days, man. Some people won't understand the meaning of truly being grateful because many people have never almost died before. Like, ask people who have almost died straight up, bro. Anybody that was in a health situation or anybody that was in a situation where their life was almost like flashed before their eyes, whether it was a car accident, involved in a robbery. Jamie Foxx was watching the memoriam of the people at the BET Awards who died from the past year, and you see him crying. He was supposed to be one of those people, and he literally even said that. Many people do not survive a stroke, bro. The man was in the hospital. They told his family, yo, I think we're going to lose him. And now he's still here. We really got to learn to be grateful, bro. Even like, for instance, yesterday, at the BET Awards outside, you have riots because of, the ICE raids in LA. I don't understand how people can look at certain things like that and not be grateful for their own situation. You feel me? Like, sometimes I be having to catch my own self. You feel me? I be having to tell myself, bro, I'm over here complaining because AC in my apartment was tweaking. And I remember I was just firing off on everybody like, bro, I'm annoyed, bro. Bro, it's folks that's getting deported every single day. It's folks that's being sent back to the place where they wanted to escape from just so that they can live a life that we do. And we over here complaining about the smallest things, man. And I'm not better than anybody because we all sometimes lose sight of things to be grateful for. We sometimes lose sight the fact that we're very spoiled. You feel me? We sometimes lose sight about the fact that we're very privileged at times. Yeah, we might not be living in $20 million mansions, you feel me? But bro, we are living great lives in comparison to these people that are being just completely screwed over by the laws, mandates, things that have been set by the people of higher powers in this country, bro. We just gotta learn to be grateful. That's all I'm saying, bro. It may not be you that needs to hear that. It may be somebody else that you know, bro. We all gotta learn to be grateful, bro. Because with Jamie Foxx, like, folks thought that we were about to see a funeral for Jamie Foxx, and you see him being emotional up there. He literally kept telling God, like, yo, now that I have a second chance, he literally kept saying this during his speech. Now that I have a second chance, I'm not gonna let it, like, I'm taking it full throttle, bro. Like, he's gonna handle everything correctly, bro. You really gotta be in a situation where you almost lose your life sometimes to really understand how grateful you need to be for each and every day, bro. And that goes for everything, bro. You got somebody that's checking up on you every day. Even if they're not checking up on you every day, you got somebody that's checking up on you every here and there. That's a blessing. You pick up your phone and your mama's calling you and you're annoyed because you don't feel like talking to her at the moment. That's a blessing though, bro. Your mama's calling you. You got your dad still calling you. That's a blessing. You got your friends that still want to hang out with you on a regular basis, bro. That's a blessing, bro. And sometimes we lose sight of that, bro. And it's important that we see some of these things and we tone it back into us and realize how grateful that we need to be. Because not only is it good for our hearts and our mind, but also God appreciates that, bro. That was one Ultimate Icon Award. The other one went to Mariah Carey. Now, when we learned that Mariah Carey was going to be performing, the first thing I thought was, there is no way she's going to sing live. She didn't sing live. We've seen the decline of Mariah Carey, you feel me? We know that she's not the beast that she used to be, but let me tell you something, bro. I won't allow anybody to ever play on the legacy of Mariah Carey, bro. I've been on record to say, one of my most unpopular opinions, I think Mariah Carey is the greatest singer, the greatest vocalist of all time. Now, many people will say, okay, Whitney Houston. I don't disagree with that. I'm not saying somebody that chooses Whitney Houston over Mariah Carey is tripping. I just know, if you really know about Mariah Carey in the 90s, you would know that what I'm saying is not a crazy take as you think. Mariah Carey in her prime was so good that she has to now pay for it, because obviously we know that she's not the singer that she used to be. Every time she sings live, people are wondering if she's gonna do good or not. And it's just funny because how she sings now is still better than 90% of singers on this planet. But Mariah was such a beast in the 90s. And when they compare her prime self to now, they just think it's night and day. That's how great of a singer she was, bro. And many people wondered why she got the Ultimate Icon Award, man. You just don't know, man. You really just don't know, bro. Even the collaborations that she used to do in the 90s, bro, and in the 2000s, like Mariah Carey used to do what many people call the weirdest collaborations, but bro, it literally speaks to her GOAT. Like, it literally speaks to how much of a GOAT she low-key is, bro. Not to mention, she's still getting millions in royalties every year over All I Want for Christmas Is You. I just feel like I had to come up on here and defend Mariah Carey, because y'all really don't know for real. There's somebody else I also need to defend that performed yesterday, and that's Keisha Cole. Let's talk Keisha Cole for just 1 second. At the BET Awards, Keisha Cole was up there looking like she was a fairy. Yup. It wasn't her best performance, you feel me? But folks, again, are not aware of her work, bro. I'm not about to sit here and let people just slander Keisha Cole, even though she ain't had a great performance yesterday. Because this is a lady that better be on track and better be in the queue to get that Ultimate Icon Award at the next BET Awards or the one after. Like, bro, Keisha Cole is incredibly overlooked when it comes to legacy and like discography, bro. Folks been underrating Keisha Cole for the longest, bro, when it comes to hits, bro. You got Love, I Remember, Let It Go, Heaven Sent, which is a song that people don't even much know about for real. My personal favorite song of Keisha Cole is Trust. I ain't gonna lie to you. Hell, folks don't even know that that's her. I won't allow Keisha Cole slander, just like how I won't allow Mariah Carey slander, bro. Now, the thing I liked most about the BET Awards, they ended it with Kirk Franklin. He got the last Ultimate Icon Award. And I also forgot to mention Snoop Dogg was one of the people that got the Ultimate Icon Award, but I don't gotta speak on the legacy of Snoop Dogg. I'm pretty sure we all know that, young and old. Kirk Franklin got that Ultimate Icon Award. It was the best performance. And let me tell you something, bro. You see the respect that Kirk Franklin has even in the secular world. You see the respect that everybody has for Kirk Franklin, even in the R&B, hip hop, the secular music world, bro. You know the impact of gospel music in the music industry, bro. All these people, that's what all the best male R&B singers of the 90s that y'all prefer over today's R&B singers, bro, they're good because they grew up singing in the church. Jamie Foxx, one of the greatest singers, like vocally, you feel me, grew up in the church. Leon Thomas, who is now one of the most talented people in the music industry, been around, grew up singing in the church. All of these great male R&B artists who don't need auto-tune like that, who don't need special producer mixes like that, who doesn't need vocal tweaking like that in the studio, grew up in the church. And that's why the lack of male R&B singers today, you see why that's what it is, bro. Y'all gotta be singing in that church, man, whether y'all like it or not. I'm not even talking about the aspect of getting closer to God. I'm just talking about when you're in the church and you see like the way that music is had, the way that music is thought of, the way that the music is created, and the standard and the levels, you wonder why. Wonder why there were many great R&B singers male in the 90s in all them R&B groups, bro. Drew Hill, Boys to Men, Jodeci, Tony, Blackstreet, Casey and JoJo. Even individuals, Johnny Gill, Brian McKnight, Maxwell, Usher. Like, bro, do I need to keep going, bro? Don't underestimate the gospel influence on everything, the church influence on everything, because it's there. And it's been very pivotal, bro. Because Kirk Franklin, that was the best performance of the night, bro. Like, and everybody in the crowd knows his songs, you feel me? That's why they went last, bro. It's a pleasure to see. Even though, you know, the BET Awards, you could argue is a secular show, obviously, by the dressing, more of the performance, the genres, but you ending it off with gospel and you seeing how turned everybody was in that building, bro. It's such a blessing to see him. Just Kirk Franklin, bro. Kirk, bro, I hope you see this. Kirk Franklin, the funniest thing about Kirk, he is such a main character, bro. If you go to Kirk Franklin's name on Wikipedia or even in the dictionary, if it's there, you might see main character syndrome in the dash under his name. Like, even me going to the reunion tour in multiple cities, the way that he likes to be a showman and a performer, it's sensational. But we also got to give Kirk Franklin credit because this man continuously collabs with hip hop and rap artists, and then you're gonna have your annoying old heads that are gonna be like, oh, you're using the people that make the devil's music in your songs. No, I wouldn't say that. But I see it as is Kirk Franklin is taking people that these kids are listening to, all these rappers, collabing them in with gospel music, using them for the glory of God. It doesn't matter the music that they're making on the side. You just seeing Glorilla win an award, her only award, which was very crazy to me, for collabing on a Kirk Franklin record. It was her record, but she featured Kirk Franklin on it. And you got people talking about oh, that's so disrespectful. Why are you using... Bro, he took a rapper who talks about secular things and influenced her to want to talk about the glory of God. And you're mad. Right. Makes sense, bro. That's why Kirk Franklin is such a GOAT, bro. Now, with all that being said, bro, I think that the BET Awards are back. Not even gonna lie to you. You could tell that they made all these changes, putting it on the Monday, the whole 106 in Park intro, multiple Ultimate Icon Awards, making it 4.5 hours, Lord Jesus, because they want to bring it back. And I definitely anticipate that moving forward, everybody's probably gonna watch the BET Awards from now on, because I definitely will be. And best believe, and boy, I'm praying this, and I know it's gonna happen because I know how hard I work on a regular basis, bro. I will be in that building next year. I had a few people that I know in the content world that was there. I literally told them, bro, next year you're gonna see me there, bro. I'm not saying I'm gonna do something. I'm not saying I'm gonna be involved, but I'm gonna be in the building, bro. You want to know why? I'm gonna continue to work, bro. And that's also something I want to switch as I like, you know what I'm saying, pivot a little bit. We have to work harder, ladies and gentlemen. We have to work harder. You know, I mentioned last week on my episode about how content is changing. Content people are the new celebrities. You've seen Kai Cenat and Drewski literally toward the end of the BET Awards, not the beginning. They're on stage toward the end. You feel me? Those are new stars. And what you got to understand is those folks worked hard. But guess what, though? They worked in private, bro. And that's the part of success that many people neglect, bro. It's about what you do in private. You really have to fall in love with that private work that leads to no success at that moment, bro. Most of you know that y'all are going to be successful one day, you feel me? But you got to be grateful for the time that you're not successful right now, because that free time where nobody's watching, there's no pressure for success. That's the time where you can make your mistakes. That's the time where you can fail. And those specific failures are great for you because nobody's watching them. You can afford to fail. You can afford to take an L. You can afford to do all of that, bro. Because all these big time people, they did it. Kai Cenat and Drewski was literally on stage at the BET Awards. But there was a time where Kai Cenat was streaming and there was nobody watching. There was a time where Drewski was doing skits and it was only averaging like 20 likes a post. There was a time where Tyler Perry was writing films, having plays, and nobody showed up. There was a time where Kobe Bryant was working on them turnaround fades in the gym at 4 a.m. and nobody seen. Tom Brady had some draft workouts where no scouts came to look at him. So many top artists in the game, there was so many times where they had shows, nobody came. So many times where they had to be on the street handing out mixtapes. It's about the downtime in private, bro. That downtime really matters, bro. My podcast right now, I only have 100 weekly listeners on YouTube, bro. Go look at the YouTube numbers. It ain't anything special right now. But you gotta fall in love with that time of you being down, because when you get up, you've learned from all your mistakes, you've learned all your lessons, you know how to go through all of that because you did it during that alone time when nobody was watching. That's why you gotta fall in love with that downtime. You gotta fall in love with the process, especially when you know you're gonna be somebody one day. Now, I wanna talk about something special before I end this episode. This was not included in this episode script or, you know what I'm saying, the game plan, you know what I'm saying. I don't know if y'all have seen this new movie that's trending, Straw, produced by Tyler Perry, who I just mentioned in the last, you know what I'm saying, inspiration segment. Straw, I'm still at a loss for words. Watching Straw made me realize Tyler Perry is a genius, and I can no longer hate on this man. I never hated on him to begin with. I don't think y'all should be hating on Tyler Perry no more after Straw. Not even gonna lie to you. Let me break down why Tyler Perry is a genius. Tyler Perry knew that we were gonna look at previews of Straw, like pictures and all that, and we were gonna be like, here comes Tyler Perry again, portraying the black woman that's in a struggle, single mother, terrible job, terrible boss, probably loses the job with no money. Tyler Perry literally played to our assumptions in this movie. He knew we were gonna think that, because everybody was on Twitter dragging Tyler Perry like this man is really about to produce and write another movie about the struggles of a black woman. Then we watched the movie, and the movie gave off that same thing that we assumed until the end, and boy, I was blown the fuck away. We really thought it was gonna be that same black empowerment where we're doubted as black people type movie until you realize it has nothing to do with that. And if you haven't seen the movie yet, I suggest that you know what I'm saying, leave me a like, but leave this video because I'm finna spoil just a little bit. Because bro, I thought I had Tyler Perry figured out until that ending, boy. Like, I get Tyler Perry, bro. This is gonna seem like I'm glazing Tyler Perry. I swear I'm not trying to on purpose. I guarantee you, not a single soul on this planet could have predicted the ending of that movie, bro. Toward the ending, he thought, okay, you know what? Folks know about the situation. They know that it's not a bomb. They know that she's not trying to hurt anybody. She might get pardoned. She might go help her daughter. She might get out of all of this. Her life might change forever. Then we learn that her daughter has been dead the whole time. When I tell you my jaw dropped, and remained there for the duration and remained there for the rest of the movie. Not a single soul on this planet, and this is why the movie is now #1 in the world right now, saw that ending / plot twist coming. I've never seen anything like that. Because then we now learn it don't got nothing to do with the struggling black woman who is misunderstood. It don't got nothing to do with none of that, because guess what? If she wasn't tweaking and grieving, because that's what really is this movie about. When people grieve, it's a different type of pain. That's the lesson that Tyler Perry was trying to show us, and it did not come until the very ending, bro. And that's why many people are watching the movie twice, because now they want to watch it from a different lens of, damn, that daughter was never there the whole time. So everything that she did leading up to that led to her being in that bank, her leaving her work early because she had to do something for her daughter, which led to her getting fired, which led to her trying to go back and get the money for the check, which led to the robbery, which led to her killing her boss, which then led to her going to the bank to get money, was all her tripping. And that was Tyler Perry's way of telling us, y'all will never, ever be able to figure out where I'm finna go with my movies. I will never be able to say where I'm finna go with my movies. Y'all will never be able to figure it out. I will always be steps ahead of y'all. You will never be able to predict my next move when it comes to movies. Tyler Perry's a GOAT. Tyler Perry's a GOAT, bro. And I knew I was going to end this episode by giving Tyler Perry flowers. I never hated on him, but I did think Tyler Perry just did this same old movie again, bro. But he didn't. Tyler Perry is the GOAT. Fax.Koolaid, I don't make the rules.
Imagine seeing